Okay, we are live on LinkedIn. I'm joined by Lisa Popovici, who is the founder of Cartloop. Lisa, welcome. Why don't you give us a quick introduction on you? Tell us a little bit about Cartloop, which is your new startup, and your background.
Hey, Adam. Thanks for the invite. Sure. So I'm Lisa, co-founder at Cartloop. Cartloop is a conversational text marketing platform that helps e-commerce brands drive extra revenue and recover more abandoned carts by texting with customers in real time. We have a team of real people that are engaging with shoppers through text messages, and I like to describe Cartloop as a brand's both sales and support team in the same app. And a little bit about my background, actually my non-stereotypical background. Previously, I studied and graduated from med school. And while studying medicine, I basically became obsessed with e-commerce and tech. And I started 2 e-commerce brands just as a side gig to just learn my own money because I loved traveling. And I started learning everything on my own and with the help of my co-founder, Andre. And basically, e-commerce hooked me, and I remember this is a story that I tell every single time that I was so eager to get back from my classes and just open my laptop and work on my store. And I found myself being really good at it and also a fast learner. And I just became very passionate. And I remember that on the 5th year, it was like a turning point for me. I realized where my true passion lied and where my path was actually taking me. And I remember traveling to San Francisco in 2018, and my co-founder and I decided to start a SaaS company that would solve one of our biggest issues, which was actually not relying on external marketing channels such as Facebook. So we started, and the first one was an email marketing app that was basically like an automation tool, like a set it and forget it email marketing kind of app. But we pivoted from that one to Cartloop because we were too focused on the product and not focused enough on the validation side of things. And we were first-time founders. So this is how my e-commerce and tech journey began. And after trials and errors and the pivot to Cartloop, this is where I am. And after only months from launching, we launched in April 2020. So just when the pandemic started, perfect moment.
Perfect timing.
It was actually perfect timing for e-commerce.
It's worked out well, I think, for a lot of people, including ourselves, and feel almost guilty because of how much pain other businesses, especially offline, it's been for them. But obviously, right timing for people like us in our space, definitely. I want to touch on it. Actually, you mentioned quite interestingly, and I've seen a lot of conversation going on around this in particular. You said typically, like in that conversational sense, people have seen that as just customer support. But I'm seeing the conversation shift now, and I think rightfully so. People are starting to see that as a real sales opportunity to build retention and a better experience in the brands. Was that always the goal from the outset, or does it just sort of transition into that positioning?
So when we decided to start Cartloop, we saw this gap in the SMS marketing niche of being like more human. That was missing in our opinion, because every single platform was automated, focused on automation. So we wanted to give that experience of being able to talk with someone in real time and just get that personal shopping experience. So that was from the beginning.
Okay, so let's touch on that a little bit, because obviously I'm an email automation guy. That being said, I'm not averse to obviously the power of conversational marketing, and I know you're big on it. So what are the key differentiators besides obviously being more human and opportunities you've seen in taking that conversational marketing approach compared to automated marketing?
So the goal of conversational SMS marketing is basically not only to convert shoppers, but also to provide assistance with technical and failed transactions, for example, or provide product-related information, product recommendations, doing upsells, cross-sells, and so on. And what we believe is that like building that relationship prior to pushing a sales is highly important for increasing LTV and also keeping customers happy.
Yeah.
And this is basically like the core of being conversational. And that can be done via SMS, even through email, if you let your customers reply to you.
Yeah. And just to clarify, you're providing the customer support team as well to the merchant?
Yeah. So Cartloop works as a fully managed service. Mm-hmm. Once you install the app from the Shopify App Store, you go through the onboarding process, which takes only a couple of minutes, and you optimize your checkout page in order to be compliant, because that's also very important. Yeah. And you're pretty much done. So this is from the merchant's perspective. You just have to come back and watch the dashboard, and our team of live agents will take it from there.
Interesting. We're going to touch on a few of the points that you mentioned specifically around conversational marketing and SMS. But in regards to, let's start with the basics. Obviously, you've talked about one of the main applications being the abandoned cart before someone purchases. So what are the best SMS abandoned cart strategies that you found work well to convert people?
Yeah. So one of the strategies would be, of course, it's the most known one, is offering like incentivizing that shopper at the right moment with a discount or anything. But like if you're trying to go beyond just discounts, like to really convert that abandoned cart, this is the beauty of conversational. This is where like the beauty comes in. So you can just offer that personalized, you can offer personalized recommendation. You can offer support, assistance, and just be empathetic with that customer, because I would say 90% of the times, the first reply we get from that customer after getting in touch with them and saying something like, "Hey, I noticed you were checking this product, great choice. How can I help you complete your order?" Because we also have some of our merchants are not giving the discount from the very beginning. And the first reply that we get is actually the reason why they abandoned. So we get a lot of reasons like, "Oh, my credit card didn't work." So it is the most basic reason that is the most frequent one. Or I was actually looking for a recommendation, which I don't know, night cream should I take? I have a skin full of acne or stuff like that. So it basically depends on the niche also, but if you listen to what that customer actually wants, you can really provide it and not have to like go, I don't know, above and beyond and just offer high discounts or stuff like that.
So the first thing you're doing when someone abandons the cart is just going in and asking them why they abandoned the checkout.
Yeah.
And then obviously I assume you're taking a course of action based on their response. What about timings? Have you found like a perfect amount of time to go in post abandonment? Because obviously someone starts the checkout, I assume that event data passes through to you. They might still be adding items to the cart, doing some price comparisons online. What's the sweet spot? We usually set up email to trigger around an hour after that someone starts the checkout, depending on what they're buying. But is there a more aggressive timing favorable for SMS?
So what we found is that the conversion rates are higher if the post-abandonment text is sent between 10 and 30 minutes. Right now we are sending it, like the first text is being sent after 20 minutes. Because we don't want to miss that window of opportunity when the customer is actually still browsing or still deciding. So,
that makes sense. Completely agree. Have you ever had any negative feedback that it's too fast-paced, or I suppose because it's conversational, people just appreciate that they're being talked to in a more human element?
So actually what we found with a lot of shoppers is that in that 30-minute window, they actually already purchased. So they appreciate our help, and perhaps sometimes they might come back like, I don't know, next month or in the next weeks to order again, because they know we are there and can provide a discount. Because this is also another cool thing, is that the customer, after he or she received that text, can come back to the same phone number and text us, because we will still be there, and the same like expert will be able to provide that assistance even post-purchase, so.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, initially when we did the intro, there's many more applications, isn't there, beyond the abandoned cart that you could implement this type of conversational approach. With that being said, though, what are the challenges at doing this at scale? Let's say you're a fast-moving consumer good brand. You might have hundreds of abandoned carts per day. Like, is there a cutoff point? How do you allocate resource to this? Or can you just allocate more and more agents to this specific client?
Yeah, that's a good question, and one of the most frequent ones that we get. So right now, I would say that only about 30% is automated at Cartloop. So the first text message is automated, but we craft it, we personalize it together with the merchant. But other than that, our live experts are pretty much handling everything. But as we scale, we want to be able to automate even more, but still keep that human touch. So we want to bring in like emotional intelligence into the text. And for the most frequently asked questions, we want to be able to automate that with a human voice, a human tone of voice, and also being friendly and personal still, even if they're automated. And then only if we get like very, specific questions or a customer that needs special care or attention, our live experts are going to like dive right into that conversation. So these are the plans.
At the end of the day, I think the ROI is probably much higher, isn't it, in taking that personalized approach. I was actually speaking to someone on LinkedIn yesterday, and I said it would be interesting to do an experiment if you just had 10 people in your company on the phone in a call center, picking up the phone 30 days post-purchase and just finding out why someone hasn't came back and how their experience was, as opposed to the amount most merchants invest into things like Facebook and Instagram ads to bring people back. It'd probably be some really interesting results, wouldn't there?
Yeah. I mean, it's super interesting to find out the reasons, because sometimes it only takes like you actually adding that discount code for that shopper because he didn't know how to do it, and he will purchase right away. So that's the only thing it takes. So if you're not contacting him right away, you will just lose that purchase. So it's it's very important.
Out of curiosity, do you have any? I know they're quite well established why people abandon the carts. What's the most common reason that people respond with? Is it simply like price comparison, shipping thresholds? What is it?
So I would say the top 3 is payment issues, shipping fees. So I would highly encourage all merchants to give free shipping and perhaps like increase their product prices and give free shipping, because even if a product is way more pricey, but if you offer free shipping, that will be a purchase totally. It's just, I don't know, is that psychology of if you see that it's free shipping, it just makes you want to buy it even more. And the third one, I would say, the price is too high, perhaps that one.
That's quite interesting, because I think you've touched on a point there. Not only are you increasing conversions, you're actually collecting a huge amount of data that can improve the CRO aspect of the front end of your website from these customers.
Yeah. So I got one example. A lot of customers are actually complaining about not having Afterpay or Klarna, or just the opportunity, the possibility to pay in installments, because that merchant is not offering, that doesn't have that payment method. So they can actually see that feedback in the platform, or we most of the times get in touch with them and, hey, I would totally recommend you add Afterpay or like a solution like that, because a lot of your customers are asking for it. So you're losing tons of money because you don't provide that. So yeah.
That's an additional service you could add on as well.
Yeah.
Make sure I get a commission if you implement that.
It's already in the price. It's included.
Lucky for the clients then. Let's
Yeah.
move on to talk a little bit about compliance for SMS marketing. And in particular, I know the EU and US has some different rules on this. We do SMS with a couple of people in the US. We don't do it with anyone in the EU yet. And what are the main differences that you found, and how do you approach each market?
Yeah. So the first step when talking about the compliance is just making sure we're using tools and platforms that are built in for compliance. And second of all, oftentimes these platforms have all the info you need, so you can set them up in a way that they are fully compliant. So there's not a lot of things you need to do as a merchant. And for example, at Cartloop, we have guides and tutorials on GDPR compliance. So regardless where you're based, US or Europe, you have guides for all geographies. And the great thing about SMS is that opting out is as easy as texting stop. So if a customer texts stop or unsubscribe, they will automatically be opt-outed from marketing. So they will not be texted again. And unlike email, where you pretty much know a lot of stores and brands are kind of spamming people if you're not careful. It's sometimes a bit more challenging to unsubscribe. Sometimes there isn't even an unsubscribe button in the footer of the email, so that's really not compliant at all. And yeah, I know some brands that even if you opt out, they still message you. So I got an example, like a personal experience, that I'm still getting emails from, even though I subscribed like 10 times. So it's about dribble. So I unsubscribed about 10 times and they still keep emailing me. So it's really weird. And anyways, I'm not giving any kind of legal advice here. So if you are a brand that is unsure about how to navigate the compliance, I would suggest that you hire like a legal counsel just to make sure everything is set up correctly and you are like doing the right thing.
Yeah, good stuff. I've just got a comment here from Helen. Helen actually works with me. Totally agree on free shipping. Makes me purchase a lot more, 100%. Yeah, the free shipping one is interesting, isn't it? We've I think that one of the common practices is, and I was speaking to Alex, who owned OG a few weeks ago, it's just skincare brand, is to set that free shipping threshold 20% above the average order value. So then you can obviously give it out a bit more and increase the conversion rate and not eat into the margin.
Yeah. A good example is ASOS.
Yeah.
I love ASOS. Free shipping.
Yeah. I think everybody does. Okay, so let's talk about one of your case studies. I've seen on the website, and obviously wants to talk a little bit about this. Over 110,000 USD in 25 days for Essence Vault, which is very impressive. So give us a little bit of background on what happened there.
Yeah, sure. So the Essence Vault is one of our more successful brands, actually. And they are selling a consumer product. They are selling perfumes. So that means a lot of people will have questions because they have different styles. They have, I don't know, different skin types and stuff like that. And from the very beginning, we focused on providing their shoppers with personalized recommendations. And there were a lot of product-related questions. So our experts were actually needed to know everything about all those perfumes in order to be able to provide that info. And the benefit for the shoppers is that they have a single point of contact and a consistent number to text at. So as I was mentioning earlier, they can come back to that phone number, and I don't know, maybe they want to purchase that perfume in a few months again because they ran out of it. So they are asking, hey, what are other recommendations can you offer? Or what I've seen at the Essence Vault is a lot of customers are asking, like, do you have also this perfume for men or for women? I want to purchase it for my spouse, or something like that. So these are a lot of basic questions that we get with them. And this also helped a lot, like building that trust and being there for the shoppers at the right time.
Yeah.
And another reason for their success was actually sending two-way conversational campaigns during Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So we launched the early access to our two-way conversational campaigns. So I like to call them two-way conversational campaigns because they are conversational. They're not just like automated campaigns. And we are about to launch them publicly as well. And yeah, they launched a couple just before Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and they were actually the first ones trying it out. And they have experienced like massive success with this. They just actually what they did is they had like a buy one get one free campaign.
Yeah.
During the entire week, so it went like crazy because they have also really good prices. So
Impressive.
this is what happened. Yeah, I'm actually seeing here. I put some screenshots from the campaigns, and we've seen like a click-through rate of 30% for one of them, and for the other one like 15% click-through rate. So it was pretty good.
Yeah, the stats are very impressive, I must say.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, have you, obviously we've talked again about like the application for abandoned carts, especially with some more repeatable consumable brands. Have you experimented just messaging someone like around the 25 to 30 day mark? Let's say if someone buys protein powder or a supplement, for example, and just going in and saying like, hey, how is your experience with this product?
One of our, I know that one of our merchants is actually doing this, like asking kind of a review or a feedback. Like, how did you like it? If you would share with us your honest review, we would give you this discount. So like incentivize the shoppers again. And also we have a couple of brands that are sending messages just as a reminder to renew their subscription.
Yeah.
So School Year Snacks is one of them. They also have a subscription model product, which you can like order their cereal on a recurring basis, on a monthly basis or something like that. So they are also sending these types of texts.
Yeah, no, there's definitely that's the thing that sticks out to me. If you're just willing to get involved and speak to the customer, then there's so many insights that you could that get beyond just increasing sales. Like you could survey people, you could find out so much data about them, couldn't you?
Oh yeah, we're just getting started. There are a lot of triggers coming.
Just getting started. I like it. I got a question from Rod. Well done on the case study. How did you capture the SMS number initially?
Yeah, good question. So right now we are able to capture the new subscribers only at checkout. So they would have to go all the way to checkout and accept marketing and provide their phone number. But we are about to launch several growth tools in the next couple of weeks as well. But so far everything has been done like super natural, only at checkout. So yeah,
so you have got a lot
really anything else.
Yeah, for different tools, because I've seen people like Attentive, they're using it as a managed service as well, like the 2-tap opt-in. I'm assuming, don't want to blow any of your plans out of the water, but you're going to roll something similar to that out in the future.
Yeah. Those are really good growth tools to have, and also being able to subscribe to text via social media or I don't know, keywords and pop-ups, stuff like that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you actually, do you have any, because there's a few established list building techniques for email. What about for SMS? How can you drive more people onto your list and get more subscribers?
Yeah, so one of them would be just the good old pop-ups.
Yeah.
But I would be very careful with those because they can also be very intrusive and can be annoying if you don't like make them or build them to be cohesive with the website, and just to pop up at the right time, you know, not too early, not too late in their browsing session. Another one would be just to opt in via like texting a keyword, and then you would be directly, I would say, into that list of subscribers, you would be considered as a subscriber. Also, there are a lot of cool things happening on social media. So you can subscribe via Instagram, or I don't know, I think through Facebook ads or something like that. I'm not sure yet, but I've seen. But I think the Instagram one is pretty good, and it's pretty natural. I mean, I've seen a lot of brands just putting in their bio, just text this word at this number, and you'll get updates from us, offers, promos, stuff like that, or support.
Yeah, definitely. Out of curiosity, have you experimented with any like sort of content related campaigns on SMS? Because I know obviously it is a powerful tool for sales, but what about like sharing a blog article or a video or a new piece of content? How do those campaigns perform?
Yeah, that's a really cool idea for nurturing your customer base. We haven't done it yet, but it's definitely on the roadmap. I mean, we've been focusing mostly on abandoned carts, because we are not that. I would say we're still young, so this has been our main focus as of today.
Yeah, I feel like I'm pushing you on with these ideas. I should be a VC-backed investor and take some shares.
You should.
Got another question from Rod. So what percentage of customers have you seen leave their mobile number in checkout?
Oh, yeah. So I would say like 80 to 90% of shoppers actually leave and accept marketing. And also the unsubscribe rate is like crazy. It's only about, the average is 2%. So we found that, people actually love texting and getting that assistant right away. But it has to be instant. It has to be right at that moment, because if you are going to get in touch too late, you might lose them.
That's interesting. Actually, you mentioned the speed, then how fast you respond to somebody. When I spoke to Valentina OmniConvert, I don't know if you've seen, I had him on a couple of weeks ago. He said the NPS score was heavily correlated based on speed of response, so the positive impression that somebody has of a company, which obviously can help increase your lifetime value. So even more wins for Cartloop there.
Yeah.
Cool. Also, just to touch on Rod's point as well about the percentage of people leaving the mobile number at checkout. What about on the pop-ups on the front end? Like, for example, when someone adds the email compared to SMS, have you done any A/B testing on that?
Not yet, as we are about to roll the pop-up feature in the next weeks. So we haven't had the chance to test it out yet.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah,
what about email?
Yeah, it depends, right? Like what the brand for us, what they want to roll with. We have a couple of people, like I said, who do the double opt-in. So the first layer is email. We find that if we get the pop-up right, and maybe it's 10% off, just as a generic example, it can get sort of 8 to 10%. And then the follow-up for like an instant discount with SMS is around like 4 to 6%. So pretty good. And I know some people that we work with will offer 10% off the first order for an email. And then if they opt into SMS, they'll give them 15% off. So more of an incentive to get them on both channels, which is quite cool, actually.
Yeah. A lot of good stuff for consumers, a lot of discounts.
Yeah, a lot of discounts, yeah. That what would you say to someone if that's an interesting thing we can touch on, actually. Let's say the customer their response is that the price was an issue or they found it cheaper elsewhere, but the brands themselves said that they're not willing to give a discount. How would you approach that?
Yeah, so we would actually, what our experts are doing is they emphasize the benefits and the quality of the product, and just try to be super friendly and tell them, hey, if you ever decide on it, or if you need additional info, I'm here for you. You can text me anytime. So you are not trying to be super pushy. Yeah, I think that's the key.
I agree with you. Yeah, and to be honest, don't get involved in that race to the bottom. Like you said, you can differentiate yourself on service. Say that
Yeah.
you're there for the customer, and that is more important to a lot of people than just price. Knowing that someone's there, a human as well, that's willing to respond to them and give them good customer service.
Yeah, and also if that brand has reviews, that's even better because we can touch upon that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool, Lisa. So many useful insights. I've learned a lot speaking to you as well. Is there anything else you want to add that we haven't talked about Cartloop or SMS marketing in particular before we close it?
I would just recommend all the merchants to try out SMS marketing and not be afraid of it because some of them are still skeptical. But if you do it the right way, it's going to be super profitable.
Yep, I agree. And I think this year with the hate to keep banging the drum because everyone's talking about the iOS update and Facebook ads, but you definitely see a strong push again towards that owned media experience with email and SMS and channels where you are in direct communication with the customer. So it's going to be a key player in lifetime value definitely this year.
Yeah, true.
Cool. Well, thank you very much for your time. If anybody else has had any questions and they didn't manage to see this live, just feel free to post them. I'll tag you in this post, Lisa, and obviously if you want to get back to anyone, they can. But how can people connect with you? I assume on LinkedIn is the easiest way.
Yeah, LinkedIn or Twitter at Lisa Popovici.
Perfect.
Any of these ones.
Cool. All right, I'm going to end this here. Thank you very much for your time, and I will speak to you soon.
Thanks, Adam.
You're welcome.